It's the first phase of elections on Friday with 102 seats in 21 states. It's the biggest phase in this election. Focus is on Tamil Nadu, where all 39 Lok Sabha seats are going to vote. Besides this, several seats from Uttar Pradesh, Rajasthan, West Bengal, Arunachal, Assam and even Manipur are also going to vote. Our reporters are spanned across the country, getting you the pulse of voters in different states.
Just day before yesterday, that is, 36 hours back, a BJP village Pradhan was hacked to death by the alleged Naxals in one of the villages in Naxal-affected Bastar. And this is the 9th such killing in last 3 odd months where BJP workers or leaders have been killed in full public glare, in full public view in these Naxal-affected areas of Bastar and adjoining areas. Now, the small 11 number of seats here in entire state of Chhattisgarh. In terms of population, it's a small state, but in terms of geographical area, one of the amongst the mid-sized states of the country. But despite having only 11 seats, there are at least 3 phases of elections. It is same as 2019, and the first round always happens at the place where I am now standing in the heart of the Naxal territory at Bastar, close to Jagdalpur at this point in time. And the first 3 seats, the elections will take place here. Just as we started our broadcast today at around 8 p.m., there was a massive security forces convoy that was wanting to go inside and that was traveling to move inside with the poll officials to see the final round of poll preparedness before the polling starts tomorrow early morning. Now, this is, of course, in the entire stretch of the country right now, 21 states, 102 seats, fate of the at least 8 union ministers to be sealed tomorrow in the polling box in the EVMs. This is the region where the violence has almost always marred elections. Yep. So the attempt once all over again would be to ensure that at least from the law and order point of view, the elections are violence free and there is no major untoward incident that takes place.
There's a bit of a desert storm brewing up. This is very common in this time of the year, but let's see which way the desert winds will go as far as the political, landscape is concerned. Now, yes, absolutely, Rajasthan is voting in 2 phases. So we have 12 seats going to the polls in the first phase of that. The most important is Bhupendra Yadav from Alwar and Arjun Ram Meghwal from Bikaner. Arjun Ram Meghwal, of course, fighting to retain his seat. But interesting that Bhupendra Yadav has decided to step out of, the purview of, say, a Rajya Sabha seat or known as an organization man. He's actually getting down to the nitty-gritty of politics. And we saw some interesting visuals of him, cutting grain in a field and sort of really getting down to grassroots, sort of work on the ground here. So yes, very important. And will Bhupendra Yadav coming in any way tilt the power balance in the BJP in Rajasthan? Because remember, this is also a first-time leadership, a completely new leadership that the BJP has put forward. Bhajan Lal Sharma, Deputy Chief Minister Diya Kumari, Prem Singh Bairwa. It's a completely new political leadership. So somewhere their governance, their image is also at stake in this election. Obviously, they're hoping for a 25 out of 25 like last time. So that will make it a hat trick. And the Congress is obviously hoping to open their account. But some seats in the first phase are definitely in a contest. And these seats are Churu, Junjunu, Nagaur and Dausa.
In a sense, the BJP this time stands politically isolated with both Dravidian arch rivals keeping the BJP at bay. In that sense, it stands isolated, but it hopes that the Prime Minister's frequent campaigns in Tamil Nadu and the BJP State Chief Annamalai's Padayatra over the last 7 months across Tamil Nadu will help them to expand their footprint, and they're also confident that they'll be able to win some seats. That's the big challenge and that's the big question. The DMK is confident that it has a formidable alliance and it has taken up the issue of federalism, states' rights, and also taking on the BJP on what they call as financial discrimination, taking the issue of not granting any special financial packages to the flood-ravaged state as a key issue against the DMK. It's the first election for the AIADMK under the singular leadership of Edappadi Palaniswamy, who had lost 2 elections consecutively, which it fought in alliance with the BJP. And he is confident that there is anti-incumbency in Tamil Nadu against the ruling DMK, and that would help him, his party, to reclaim lost political grounds. He has roped in late actor Vijay Gant's DMDK. The BJP doesn't have any major allies except the Patali Makkal Katchi, the PMK, which has a stronger presence in northern Tamil Nadu. It has a few other smaller parties, including GK Vasan's TMC.
Now, elections come but the fate of hundreds of people living beyond the barbed wire fence and the zero line along the 856-kilometer long border with Bangladesh remains the same. This time around, in an effort to make sure that these voters get to vote without any hassle, the EC has taken special measures. BSF has already been provided with the voters list and they would verify and ensure entry anytime within the polling hours. Ratnadeep Chaudhary reports.
Elections come, elections go. But for 2 decades, nothing has changed for the hundreds living across this barbed wire fence separating India and Bangladesh. Despite being bona fide Indian citizens, these border residents live at the mercy of Bangladeshi border guards who shut the gates at sunset. The fence is being erected with the aim of reducing border crime, infiltration and insurgency. But it is also cutting these residents off from basic services and the freedom enjoyed by other citizens.
हाँ उसका वोट देता हूँ लेकिन अंदर का जो पृष्ठभूमि में हूँ पृष्ठभूमि है माइनॉरिटी प्रेसिडेंट में वो तो हम लोग का रहने का जो जरूरी है लेकिन क्या करूँगा पेट के लिए उधर रहना पड़ेगा बस खाने के लिए जो मैं खेती बाड़ी छोड़ के आ जाऊँगा बस मैं बांग्लादेश का पूरा ले जाएगा.
The construction of the border fence, mandated to be 150 yards inside Indian territory, as per the Indira Mujibur Agreement, has disrupted the lives of many residents living near the zero point. And now, elections are here. They are worried about being able to vote.
There are certain population which are across the border, particularly in Sifai Jilla district. So already arrangements have been made that on the day of poll, border gates will be open to let the voters from other side to come to their respective polling station cast their vote. And as regards the security arrangements, BSF are there. Apart from that, state police are also providing second level of security along the border so that no unlawful element, no person from across the border tries to come and impersonate for casting vote in this election.
Border residents are demanding more than just the right to vote. They seek comprehensive compensation and resettlement plans. Will this vote bring the change? With Ratnadeep Chaudhary, Bureau Report, NDTV.
Now, the nominations process of candidates in Telangana have begun and Congress is hoping to retain a hold in the state it won just a few months back. NDTV's Maria Shakil spoke to Telangana Chief Minister Revanth Reddy, who's campaigning in Kerala. Reddy asserted that Congress will perform well in all southern states, including Telangana, and that BJP's ambition of winning 400 Lok Sabha seats will meet the same fate as KCR's national ambitions.
You are here to campaign for your candidates in battleground Kerala. You are also seen as the poster boy of the Congress these days. What, according to you, is the assessment of your party in the southern states overall?
So particular in Kerala, 2020. So we are going to get 20 out of 20. Kerala is the leading partner in Indian alliance.
What about your own state, sir? The BJP did well, surprising numbers in 2019. What about this time?
This time, out of 17, I am going to get 40 from Telangana.
And other states, your assessment, because you have been campaigning extensively for the Congress across southern India.
Yes, entire south, 130 seats are there. Kerala, Tamil Nadu, Andhra Pradesh, Pondicherry, Karnataka and Telangana. Out of 130, BJP is going to get hardly 12 to 15 seats. Remaining seats are with India Alliance.
That's a lot of optimism. When the BJP says 400 par, what is your answer to that?
It is very similar campaigning was done by KCR. This time in 2023 December Assembly election, he has told 100 seats. But he has got 39 seats. It's very similar. Bharatiya Janata Party is trying to confuse people, but people are very intelligent. They are going to teach a lesson to Bharatiya Janata Party.
News now from the national capital. An Aam Aadmi Party has claimed that their MLA Amanatullah Khan's been arrested by ED in the Delhi Waqf Board case. ED in fact had questioned Amanatullah for several hours today. On Monday, Supreme Court had refused to grant him anticipatory bail. Amanatullah Khan is the AAP MLA from Okhla and was being probed by ED in a money laundering case linked to alleged illegal recruitments in the Delhi Waqf Board under his chairmanship.
देखिए, आम आदमी पार्टी के सभी नेताओं पर, सभी विधायकों पर झूठे केस लगाए जा रहे हैं, फर्जी मुकदमे लगाए जा रहे हैं। लेकिन मैं भारतीय जनता पार्टी को ये बता दूं कि वो आम आदमी पार्टी के हर नेता को, हर कार्यकर्ता को जेल में भी डाल दें, फिर भी दिल्ली के लोग आम आदमी पार्टी को ही वोट देंगे, अरविंद केजरीवाल को ही वोट।
दिल्ली के अंदर जिस तरह से तुमने दमन की कार्रवाई चला रखी है, जो खबरें आ रही हैं कि उनको गिरफ्तार किया जा रहा है। ईडी के पास अमानतुल्लाह को गिरफ्तार करने का कोई आधार और सबूत नहीं है। फर्जी, बेबुनियाद, झूठा मामला तैयार किया गया है।
We'll head into a short break at this point. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back. Now, shocking crime being reported from Karnataka, where a college student in Hubali was stabbed to death inside the campus. The girl was stabbed at least 7 times in front of onlookers before the accused fled the spot. He was arrested later. Now, the girl was rushed to the hospital but succumbed to her injuries. She was a Congress corporator's daughter. Police suspect that the girl had rejected the boy, which led to the gruesome murder.
ಇವತ್ತು ಸುಮಾರು 4:45 ಸುಮಾರಿಗೆ ಒಂದು ಹುಡುಗಿ ನೇಹಾ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ MCA ಸ್ಟೂಡೆಂಟ್ ಇಲ್ಲಿ BBB ಕಾಲೇಜಲ್ಲಿ, ಅವಳನ್ನ ಅವರ ಪ್ರೀವಿಯಸ್ ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ಮೇಟ್ ಹುಡುಗ, ಅವ್ರ ಜೊತೆ BCA ಓದ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದ ಹುಡುಗ ಬಂದು ಅಸಾಲ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾನೆ ನೈಫಿಂದ. ಒಂದು 6-7 ಟೈಮ್ಸ್ ಸ್ಟ್ಯಾಬಿಂಗ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾನೆ. ಈ ತಕ್ಷಣ ಇವರು ಕಾಲೇಜ್ ಮ್ಯಾನೇಜ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಅವರು, ಸ್ಟೂಡೆಂಟ್ಸು ಎಲ್ಲ ಹುಡುಗಿನ ಹಾಸ್ಪಿಟ್ಲಿಗೆ ಶಿಫ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಬಟ್ ಅವಳು ಬ್ರಾಡ್ ಡೆಡ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ ಡಾಕ್ಟರ್ಸ್ ಹೇಳಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಇವನು ಅಕ್ಯೂಸ್ಡು ವಾಸ್ ಅಬ್ಸ್ಕಾಂಡಿಂಗ್ ಫಾರ್ ಸಮ್ ಟೈಮ್. ಬಟ್ 1-1.5 ತಾಸಲ್ಲಿ ಪತ್ತೆ ಹಚ್ಚಿ ಸೆಕ್ಯೂರ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೀವಿ, ಆರೋಪಿನೂ ಅರೆಸ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೀವಿ. ಇಲ್ಲ, ಈಗ ಜಸ್ಟ್ ಅಕ್ಯೂಸ್ನ ಸೆಕ್ಯೂರ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡಿದ್ದೀವಿ. ಈಗ ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಒಂದು ಇಂಟರೋಗೇಷನ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ಇತ್ಯಾದಿ ಗೊತ್ತಾಗುತ್ತೆ. ಬಟ್ ಇವರಿಬ್ಬರು ಹಳೆ ಪರಿಚಯ. ಈಗ ಸದ್ಯ ನಮಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಿರೋ ಮಾಹಿತಿ ಪ್ರಕಾರ ಇವರು ಒಟ್ಟಿಗೆ ಓದ್ದವರು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ ಬೇರೆ ಸ್ಟೂಡೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ಎಲ್ಲಾನು ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ. ಅದು ಬೇರೆ ಏನೇನು ಇಂಪ್ಲಿಕೇಶನ್ಸ್ ಇದೆ, ಏನು ಕಾರಣಕ್ಕಾಗಿ ಆಯಿತು, ಫರ್ದರ್ ಒಂದು ಇಂಟರೋಗೇಷನ್ ಆದ ಮೇಲೆ ನಮಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಾಗುತ್ತೆ.
Well, a definite horrific incident there reported in Karnataka's Hubballi. What we hear is that the incident seems to have taken place between 4:45 to 5 p.m. and the entire horrific incident has been captured on the CCTV camera. It took place inside the campus of one of the private colleges there. What we know for sure right now is that both of them were acquainted with each other. They studied together while she was doing her bachelor in computer applications. Both of them are in the age group of around 20 to 25 years, and he dropped out of college, but she continued to do her master's in computer applications. Now, the entire motive behind this, whether it was a love proposal that went wrong, whether a jilted lover took this extreme step, further details are yet to emerge. Soon after the incident, the accused went absconding, but then he has been secured by the police now. Further interrogation should be completed, and only then further details would emerge. But the cops have promised that stringent action would be taken in this regard.
One of the crew members in the ship with Indians on board that had been seized in Iran has returned home. The MEA has said that they are also in touch with Iran on the 16 others who are yet to return. Now, speaking to NDTV's Uma Shankar, Iran ambassador has said that from their side, the Indian crew members are free to go.
I just want to check with you, what is the status of 16 Indians? One lady cadet came back today, but 16 Indians are still there on that ship.
16 seamen who are on board of the vessel are still on the vessel. They are not detained.
Okay.
They are under the command of captain. As if they want to leave, and if the captain allow them, they can leave Iranian water.
Okay, so there is no any legal binding on them that.
No. Just the vessel is stopped. The seamen are free and they are not detained and they can leave Iran easily.
Okay,
without any problem.
so have you given any access to the Indian representative to visit
Of
them?
course, yes, of course. Indian Consulate General in Bandar Abbas has consular access to them, and he received that lady and transferred her to Dubai to India.
So one lady came, but why not all of them? Or why still 16 there?
The request was from Indian side.
Okay. So what arrangements are being made to send them back to India, the 16 Indians?
We do not have any problem if they want to leave vessel. They are under the command of captain.
Okay.
They are. If captain allow them, they can leave country. They have leave vessel and come to India.
Okay, you mean to say that Iran Iran doesn't have any problem if the captain of the ship...
No, we do not have any problem with this group.
Okay.
We do not have.
Okay.
There is no legal issue. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Now, severe shortage of medicines in government hospitals is likely to affect around 1 lakh TB patients linked to the Bhopal gas tragedy in Madhya Pradesh. Anurag Dwari reports.
पूरे हाथ पांव सुन रहते हैं, बुखार रहता है, यानी सभी तकलीफ।
जब भी आओ ये कह रहा है आज मेडिसिन नहीं है और इसमें अगर एब्सेंट होता है तो फिर से 6 महीने अपन भूल जाए उसको।
अब ये 10 दिन का नागा आगा ये कौन पूरा करेगा?
A severe shortage of drugs in government hospitals treating TB patients is expected to affect more than 1 lakh tuberculosis patients in Madhya Pradesh. Of these, 12,000 are in Bhopal, a city whose inhabitants are still vulnerable after the Union Carbide gas leak 40 years ago. Nusrat Jahan, a victim of the gas tragedy and who suffers from tuberculosis, has not taken her medicine for nearly 15 days. Even before that, she was only getting pediatric doses.
पूरे हाथ पांव सुन रहते हैं, बुखार रहता है, यानी सभी तकलीफ हो रही है। वो गैस राहत की वो हूँ मैं, कमर में दर्द है, हाथ पांव सुन रहते हैं, कोई काम नहीं कर सकते, इतने हो जाता है। आगे मिलती रहे तो अच्छा है, टाइम से बोलने लगे आएगी तो दे देंगे, हमने कहा झूठेगी तो पूरे कवर कर देंगे।
Pushpa Rajput's TB is advanced and she has not got any medication for a month.
घर में 2 मियां बीवी हैं ये भी। बाबे भी सीना दर्द कर रहा, सांस ले में दिक्कत आ रही है 1 महीने से। किरत है ही नहीं है और वैसी चढ़ा दी पर्चे में और अब दी है उनने 1 महीने की समित मिला के। 1 महीने से दवा चक्कर लगाई, दवा नहीं मिली, अब लड़ झगड़ के नहीं आज दवा दिलाई है मैडम जी।
Shahid's daughters are getting worse without medication for 10 days.
फेफड़ों में निशान टाइप के हैं सफेद और एक जगह पूरा सफेद हो रही है और खांस रही हैं और बुखार भी आ रहा था उनको। कल आना परसों आना, बस 3-4 बार परेशान कर रहा हूँ 3-4 दिन से।
According to doctors, missing multiple doses can lead to symptoms and resurfacing or the treatment having to be restarted.
सभी को दवाई प्रदान की जा रही है और आवश्यकता यदि पड़ी तो डायरेक्टर सर का आदेश है, लिखित में हमारे पास आदेश आ चुका है कि वो दवाइयाँ स्थानीय क्रय लोकल परचेस के माध्यम से उपलब्ध कराई जाए तो हम उपलब्ध करा रहे हैं। उन्होंने जैसा भी शेड्यूल बताया है उसके अकॉर्डिंगली हम दे रहे हैं, उससे हटके कुछ भी नहीं दे रहे। दवाई मरीजों को मिल रही है और देंगे, स्थानीय क्रय के माध्यम से देंगे, दवाइयाँ देंगे, हमारे पास आदेश भी है।
Gas victims affected with TB in Bhopal have written to the state government. When we asked the government, the health minister said he would make arrangements immediately.
कि 2025 तक भारत में हम टीबी को मुक्त कर देंगे। तो मध्य प्रदेश शासन की आदरणीय डॉक्टर मौर्य जी के नेतृत्व में आदरणीय राजेंद्र चौधरी जी के मार्गदर्शन पर लगातार निरंतर काम कर रहा है। आपने जो बताइए शिकायत में जांच करा लेता हूँ, ऐसी कोई भी स्थिति नहीं आने देंगे। हमारा बिल्कुल निश्चित रूप से तुरंत उसकी व्यवस्था कराएंगे।
TB patients are not getting medicines on time and that's why they are more prone to MDR, that is drug resistant TB. In Bhopal, with camera person Rizwan Khan, Anurag Dwari for NDTV.
And with that, it's a wrap on the show. Keep watching NDTV.